sort of tell and develop the narrative of the piece itself.
We sort of started off with improvising, and we took a mode, a Dorian mode, and we just slowly got into it and performed that, and everyone was improvising with what they felt comfortable with first. So we chose moods, different atmospheres and different moods and different colours to reflect what was happening in Animal Farm, the play, and that was what we started with. So we had the kind of rebellion mood, then we had the kind of sad mood, and already just within one kind of scale or one kind of area of a mode, we were actually creating different atmospheres through improvisation.
We had sort of fast-paced blues, jazz. We had a bit of folk at the start as well, and we had to tone it down slightly, slow things down, and get a better atmosphere for the type of play we were doing.
This project for me begins with the initial meetings with Guy and Molly, the designer, talking about how the project's going to fit together, starting to look at schedules and so on for the rehearsal process, and starting to look at the initial ideas of the design that Molly's come up with, and then taking that through a period of meetings and discussions, starting to get into rehearsals and starting to bring some of that stuff to life.
Within a week or so after meeting the group who wanted to perform, we pretty much had it cast. It was quite clear to us there were some really keen individuals who we thought would benefit from particular challenges within the play, and so we just sort of matched them up to appropriate roles, really.
Yeah, it all kind of started just after everyone came back after the October holidays, I think. Everyone was like, Mr. Mean was like having quick words with people in corridors, people he thought might be interested in the whole drama thing and getting involved in another production. And then it all came to after school on Mondays and Tuesdays and building up, just had the big group exercises, so I think Ellie and Guy could get a little look into who they thought could
fit into the right characters, and
who they could fit in with. And then it just went on from there, and we had the proper rehearsals. Everyone was given a part. If they had to learn lines, they had to learn lines. If they had to do physicality and everything else, which is the most challenging aspect, I think, of doing Animal Farm, is the fact that everyone's on crutches and you're having to be this animal for about 2 hours straight.
The early stages of a rehearsal were about trying to take the cast through the whole piece, page 1 to page 58, just to give them, an understanding of the whole shape of the play. And going hand in hand with that was trying to encourage them as far as possible to adopt the physical mannerisms and gestures that were appropriate for whichever animal it is that they were playing. And that's a serious challenge, for any actor, and certainly has been a challenge for the student cast.
It's come together extremely well, and I think the physicality of the play has really pushed the students and given them a fantastic opportunity to be involved and experience physical theatre, and to show the audience as well what you can do. At the end of the day, a lot of text, you need to see them performed in order to bring them to life and to develop your understanding and appreciation of the text.
It's really interesting in this piece, because of the nature of the costume, it is very much putting on a mask, which allows young people, I think, to further explore that characterisation and to think a little bit deeper about how they wish to be portrayed on stage. And it has been extremely challenging, because at the end of the day, they're not professional actors, and I doubt very much that any of them have ever been asked to be a pig, a cow, or a sheep, or a hen before. So that in itself was an absolutely massive challenge for us, to try and put young people through that process, because in some of the particular animal characters, it's really quite hard to look like a hen. when you're a human. You know, the sort of shaping of it, you can get the nuances, and it takes quite a lot of confidence to pick up on those nuances. It's not only just about the different emotions that we ask the group to consider within the play, but it's and the journey you want to take the audience on, but it's the actual structuring of how you become an animal. When you think about it, it's extremely hard, you know, and in that sense we've had a lot of fun.
So we started off with designs, and working from the designs, the pupils did further research into the animal shapes and animal heads, and they did mood boards of each particular animal just to get a feel from how they looked from all angles, what the particular characteristic was of the animal. The idea was to take an element of the animal and represent it through costume, so taking the essence out. So because there was limited time and also limited means, because I was trying to teach the pupils new skills as well, we decided to settle for headpieces and things like tails to represent the animal. So that was the initial part. I then went on to teach skills such as felt making and millinery skills, so that they could create their own pieces.
Knowing that I was going to be working with a costume designer who has had experience of working either basically in schools and also in productions, I knew that we were going to be using techniques and materials that we don't normally get the chance to use, such as felt making, some quite expensive materials. And I just decided that mainly it was the third year classes, but I just thought it'd be a really good experience for them before they go on to do Intermediate 2 next year, what it's like to work from scratch on some kind of design that turns into a production, working to a really large scale and having to work to a time scale and seeing how important it is that you meet your deadlines and allow them to have a bit of fun as well. So in that sense I think it's been a real benefit and a real bonus, because certainly the 40 odd students that I've got in third year, you know, they have now learnt techniques that they perhaps wouldn't have done at this stage. And I think that certainly when you talk to kids around the school about the production, it's a real positive thing. You know, they all feel like they're getting involved in it, people wanting to volunteer, people staying behind after school, wanting to give their time, just for the common cause.
Well, this is for the raven, so it is, and it'll get like things that'll hang off it to make it look feathery and stuff.
I'm doing the horse's tail, and right now I'm just detangling it.
We don't really do much at this school like this, and it's nice to get people in and teach us new stuff, like what I said, making structures and all that. Yeah, it's definitely been good having new people in. I want to design clothes and stuff, so yeah, this is sort of inspiring it as well. It's good.
Oh, the costumes were amazing.
Yeah,
I was really
absolutely
impressed
incredible.
with the costumes.
Yeah.
I absolutely love the chickens and the birds. The birds ones
Beautiful.
where they have their kind of like, they have a bum and they have their wee wings as well.
Beautiful.
They're
very
really
beautiful.
smart.
Yeah.
At first when I saw, I think Sevs was the first, he plays boxer. He had the first like horse's hat done. And at first when we saw it we were like, what's that? We didn't quite know what it was, but then when he puts it on it looks really smart. You can see where the horse's head comes down and the shape of it, and it's like, he gets properly into it as well. I think he really likes it.
Yeah, he does.
My job is almost entirely collaboration, and so that includes obviously the professional tag staff on the project, and then a lot of liaison with teachers in the school about arranging times for rehearsals, arranging access to buildings, and also starting to talk to teachers about doing some of the production work, getting some of their classes involved in building things and so on. And then right through to a team of students that I've worked with along the way, who've all been involved in lighting, sound, stage production, construction of scenery, and so on. And I supervise most of those students through and help to develop their skills and to make sure that the job gets done.
I've learnt new skills that I wouldn't learn in school because we don't have like big fancy equipment like this, and we don't usually put a big fancy stage up.
I've learned kind of what's involved in stage management and also to be organised.
I've learnt new skills and like to do with lighting and stuff because I've never done this before, so it's a new experience.
I've learnt new skills helping with lights.